What's up, Steeler Nation? Coming to you today with a video about my personal preferences to update the running back room for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2025 NFL Draft. There are a lot of great backs in this draft, but me personally, I want to see a dynamic runner. I know that a lot of people believe that you can find a good running back in the later rounds in the draft. I want one of the top tier running backs. And I have a preference. I want someone who's 6 feet, 215, 225 pounds. I want somebody who runs a 4.5 or 4.4 or 4.5 or faster. I liked Najee Harris's size. I didn't like his speed. I need somebody that could take it home. Even somebody as fast as Jalen Warren, but bigger, or someone that is faster than Jalen Warren and bigger. And so a lot of times, those backs are, you know, that rare combination of size and speed and strength. Um, we don't see too often, uh, but when we get them, I love those type of backs. I'm a fan of the big fast backs. I like Eric Dickerson. I like Jonathan Taylor, uh, Eddie George, 6 foot and above backs that can run 4.5, 4.4. They can break the long runs. They can run you over. They can run between the tackles. And so in this particular draft, I've picked out 5 backs. There were some others, but these are the five top, my 5 picks out of the top 10 running backs of this class. So I wouldn't be disappointed if the Steelers selected someone like Trevion Henderson or um, Scatterbo or a couple of other the 5'11 or 5'10 or 5'9 backs, but I prefer not to have a 5'9 running back. I prefer to have a bigger back. So the first guy on the top of my list, um, and I put 2 backs, 1 and 2, as I was writing them down. But personally, after watching more and more film and seeing how uh, different running backs ran, I like backs that can make a quick move, that are fluid in motion, that have wasted motion, or not wasted motion. My first pick that I would like the Steelers to have a shot at is Caleb Johnson of Iowa. This guy's like impressive, man. He's big, he's strong, he's smooth, he's quick. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He has good bursts. He has good balance. He will punish you. He will run away from you. He hits the hole fast and fluid. He has good vision, so he can see where the hole is. He can set up his blockers. I like Caleb. He's 6 foot. Some say 6'1". He's all of 225 pounds, and he he reminds me of Dickerson when he runs, because you can't. He looks like he makes no noise when he's running. Now, I'm not on the field with him. I can't hear if his pads is making noise, but he just runs so smooth. And I like him um, because he's big and fast and strong. He hits the hole like a smaller back, and once he gets through that hole, he could be gone. Um, most defensive backs are not going to catch him, and he'll put up big numbers, even with an offensive line that's not well blocked. A couple of times we've seen Najee Harris miss holes or get too antsy in the backfield, and we understand that. Because I understand it personally, because when watching this offensive line, um, there were so many people in the backfield as the running back was getting the hole, getting the ball, that there was nowhere to go. So it makes you antsy, especially when it's happening on consecutive plays, drive after drive, where you don't know if the play that's called, if it's going to be blocked, or you don't get a chance to see uh, the whole or see the setup and how things are um, turning out. So it's like you would get antsy as you expect to have to dodge somebody in the backfield. And people could say, well, Barry Sanders this or Walter. Najee Harris is not Barry Sanders or Walter Payton. Those are um, extremely talented backward that were extremely elusive. Shady McCoy and Reggie Bush. That's not the type of back that Najee was. And he did have some shake to him. He did have some shiftiness to him, but he's not dancing away from you in the backfield. That's ridiculous for anybody to expect that. So, Caleb Johnson, smooth runner. That's my first choice. My second choice um, is Amari Hampton from North Carolina. And this guy is ridiculously physical and fast. Um, Big, strong, physical, good vision, good balance. He runs through arm tackles, 6'1", 230 pounds. He has a good stutter step. So he can be patient at times in the hole. Sometimes a little bit too patient, but you can work on that. He hits that hole, he's gone. He runs over people, no hesitation to stick his shoulder into somebody. He runs through arm tackles and he runs away from defenders and he gets to the second level of the defense fast. So, I like Amari Hampton. I like the fact that he's a punisher. He has a nose for the goal line. He had over 10 touchdowns during the season. Um, he's a good short yardage back, runs a 4.4. And that's another thing that Caleb Hampton, he runs a sub 4.5 too. 4.59, 4.5. That's good speed. That's good speed. And that's interesting because according to statistics, Amari Hampton is actually faster than Caleb Johnson. But looking at on film, to me, Caleb Johnson looks faster than Amari Hampton because I've seen Amari Hampton get caught, whether it be somebody chasing him down straight from behind or catching him on the angle in big games. So I've seen him get caught a couple of times, but I've always seen most of the time Caleb Johnson finish those runs for touchdowns. And I think I only seen him get caught twice. And I watched about 30 of his plays. So, I like Amari Hampton if he's there. And I think that it would be surprising to me to see two running backs go during the first round in the draft. But if either Amari Hampton or Caleb Johnson is there in the second round, I would jump at the chance to take them. I'm not. I like Ashton Gentry. I just think that a bigger, faster back would be more suitable for this offense, suitable for that zone blocking scheme, and that's what I'm looking for because we already have a smaller, shiftier back that can break tackles in Jaylen Warren. So we need diversity. We need a big back, and we don't need a big bumbling back. We need somebody that can break home runs too. And we can get our maybe short yardage back or punishing back, just strictly punishing back in free agency because there's some strong backs in free agency as well. So a lot of this also depends on what we do in free agency, but I don't see a free agent running back that's going to come in and be a dynamic playmaker. These run-of-the-mill running backs that you pick up during the fourth and fifth round, rarely do you find a Terrell Davis in the fourth or fifth round. So regardless of what somebody says, those rare gems, day one starters, because the only reason why people continue to say that running backs, you can get a running back in any round or you can get a running back and steal any round is because running back is the easiest position to come in and play from day one. But talent-wise, a great running back is a great running back. And so, My third running back that I'm highly interested in is Quinshawn Judkins from Ohio State. And I've seen a lot of Quinshawn. I've seen him run. He is a beast. He is a beast. He runs through tackles. He runs away from people. He's got a little shake to his game. And the thing that I like about Quinshawn Judkins, that I like more than the first two backs that I mentioned, was that he catches the ball extremely well out of the backfield. I like Caleb Johnson too. Amari Hampton is more of a dump off guy. I've seen Caleb Johnson run some routes. Quinshawn Judkins can do it all. Put up 1,000 yards splitting the carries with TreVeyon Henderson. And he averaged 6 yards per carry at Ole Miss. So he is a dynamic runner. I'm pretty sure he transferred to Ohio State to get a shot at a national championship, which he accomplished. He's physical. He's got good bursts. He runs a sub 4.5. Looks like he's faster than that. And sometimes on-field football speed is different than running in a straight line on a track. And so Quinshawn Judkins, I can see him sliding to the Steelers in the second round. Because preferably, I prefer that the Steelers' first round pick either be a wide receiver, depending on what they do in free agency. And one of the reasons I say that is because the wide receiver talent this year is not as good and deep as the running back talent, like it was in the previous years. Or I want to see them draft a defensive tackle. And I want somebody either in free agency or in the first round of the draft, top tier talent, dominating defensive tackle to put in the middle of that defensive line so that we cut Larry Ogunjobi and we push Keanu Benton out to the defensive end and draft a defensive tackle. And then in the later rounds in the draft, we can draft another defensive end or pick one up in free agency to spell Cam Hayward, because I believe either this is his last year or his second to last year. And so that's something I think that we should get done. But I think that we should go wide receiver or defensive tackle in the first round, but running back in the second or third round. Now, another guy that I like, I'm not as impressed with as I am the first three, is Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State. One of the knocks that people have on Amari Hampton is the competition that he played against. Well, with Ollie Gordon, he played against good competition. Oklahoma State went up against other top-tier defenses, Oklahoma and other, schools in their conference. I think that's the SEC, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not. Oklahoma State is not in the SEC. ACC. I apologize. I'm going to brush up on my conferences because they've been moving around so much. It's thrown me off a bit, but 6'2", 25, 4.4 speed, 4.4 speed, 6'2", 25. He's fluid. I like Ollie Gordon. He's fluid. I like the fact that he's a good pass catcher, big and strong, physical runner. He's got good vision. He's one of those one cut and gone guys. So he'll give you one move and he's committed to that one move and he's gone because he's setting you up. Usually one cut guys, they're doing that because they already know which way they want to go and they just want to give you the slight hesitation to go. And that's what he does. He's a beast and he will flat out run away from you. Okay, and so my last running back, I didn't even know this guy exists until I did some research because I don't watch the South Carolina Gamecocks. Raheem Rocket Sanders. Now this guy is overrated. If you're underrated, I apologize, underrated. If you are going to take somebody in the third or fourth round, and this guy's there at 6 foot, 230 pounds, he runs a 4.4 flat. This guy is shifty. He's fast. He has good hands out the backfield. He's physical. He has excellent vision. The only knock that I would think that he may have is pass blocking or route running, which you don't really expect from a running back. And I didn't, you know, look at that part of his game. But as a running back, I don't know why he's rated so low or why he's going to drop so far. Maybe because the competition, or if he has some type of injury. But this guy is flat out fast, 4.4 speed, 6 foot, 230 pounds. You understand what type of size that is? That's Bo Jackson size. Bo Jackson was 6'1", 235. Now he ran a 4.2, but Ollie Rocket, they call him the Rocket. Raheem Sanders runs a 4.4. He's the fastest running back at this group and the biggest running back in this group. So those are my personal preferences. My next video, I'm going to talk about the wide receivers and my preferences. And I'm also going to talk about more extensively why I want these backs and why I think that we should pick a back so high. I've seen people say that we should pick a running back in a 5th or 6th. We have a 5th or 6th round running back in Jaylen Warren. We need dynamic playmakers. I want top tier running back. On this offense, what we lack is top tier talent. We don't need to be sifting through the pile, trying to find a gem in the rough. We need top tier talent from the jump, and anybody who says that, oh, you don't need to do this or you don't need to do this, what round was Saquon Barkley drafted in? What round was Derrick Henry drafted in? Those are the type of backs that we need. That's what what round was Jahmyr Gibbs drafted in? Those are the type of backs we need. What round was Le'Veon Bell drafted in? These backs that you find later in the rounds, and name somebody in the last 10 years that was drafted in the 5th to 6th round that was an all-pro running back consecutively. That's what we need. Somebody that scares defenses, not somebody who can do the job, somebody that scares defenses. When you think of this back, you come into the game, you say, oh my goodness, we have to face him. That's what you want in a running back. That is what you want in a running back. And so I'm out. Steelers Nation. We'll talk again real soon.